Be a Christian Radio begins in 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time you may be listening to this. Welcome back to Be a Christian Radio. Tonight we've got a lot to cover, and we're going to be talking about the entertainment industry. One way or the other, you might have had yourself roped in the entertainment industry. And as Christians, as followers of Christ, we need to understand the importance, what it means to be, what it means to ingest music and entertainment and entertaining content into your soul. Because the things that goes into your eye, as the Bible teaches, that the eyes are the windows of the soul. And it's interesting that most people don't take cautions of the things that they watch and the thing that they listen to, and these things has a lot of effect in your spiritual state. And I have a guest with me, and this is the first remote podcast I'll be doing. And I have a brother with me. He goes by the name With God, and With God he is a man of God indeed. This guy has a lot of knowledge. I have spoken with him, and I've seen him talk things that are just beyond what you get in your normal regular churches. I've seen him talk things that are down to the letter. So we have a lot of things to cover tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and start the adventure. Yo, what's up, brother? How you doing? With God, are you there? With God?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. It's good to have you.
I was on mute.
Oh, okay.
Good to have you too, my brother. All praises to the Most High God.
Yeah, all praises to the Most High God. Welcome to Be a Christian Radio, by the way. I've been wanting to have you for a very long time, most especially the first time I heard you speak. I don't know which particular room was that, and there was something you were talking about that I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and I said no, I need to have this guy on the podcast as soon as possible. All right, so anyway, can you just quickly just give a brief introduction of yourself before we go into the topic for today?
Yes, of course. So just for safety for purposes, I don't really like to put my surname or anything out there. But my name is With God, and that's my real name.
Wow.
That's my real name that my father gave to me. As you know, I'm a Yoruba man.
Of course.
I'm a Yoruba man from Ondo State. From Ondo State, I grew up in Ondo, and I live in the United States of America right now. I moved here after my first year of university when I was in school. That was when I moved here. So this was a long time ago. So yes, that's a brief information about me. And I like reading, and I think that's one of the things that that attracts me to you. Like-minded.
Yeah.
I don't know how they put it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they put that sentence exactly.
Yeah, so people with the
Like-minded.
same like minds.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, the day I was listening to you, I heard you were talking about the Nigerian music industry, and then there were some things you really talk about in that room that you were, and I found many of the things really relatable, because these are the same things I've been looking into, and but I couldn't get my hands on the on the complete fact. And I have not really done my assignment when it comes to the Nigerian entertainment industry. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think of the Nigeria entertainment industry as a whole? Not just the musical part. This includes both the Nollywood and then even including the skit makers, because there are some fishy things I'm seeing about them. What do you think about the Nigerian music industry and the Nigerian entertainment industry as a whole?
Of course, of course. It's we can't discuss this without looking at the history of the entertainment industry. Just brief history.
Yeah,
Um, so the first entertainment recognized thing that came to Nigeria was obviously is theater.
yeah.
That is theater, and that was exhibited in 1903 August at the Clover Memorial Hall of Lagos.
Hmm.
Um, and it was directed by Geoffrey Bacchus. Obviously, you already know that's a so-called white man.
Yeah, it is.
Um, exactly. So that's where it all started. And why is it important that I even brought that up? Because when we try to trace these quote unquote fishy things or these things that we see in the Nigerian entertainment industry, we
Hmm.
can't. There's a source that we can trace it back to, and what we start to find out is, wait a minute, this is not just a Nigerian thing. You know,
Hmm.
you see it in England, in Britain. You also see it in the United States of America, and it's not a coincidence because they were the one who brought these things also. So, so we can see it just literally all across the world, and we can be able to trace the origin. So that's just a brief history of it. But what I really think about it, even before we get into the spiritual aspect or what is alleged things, because for the most part we can't really prove a lot of these things, like we can't hold them by their wrist.
Mm-hmm.
But um I think it's like the Nigerian entertainment industry is like, it's like feces that you spray perfume on, or you spray air freshener on. And
Hmm.
what do I mean by this? On the outside it's good, right? You say you know
Yeah.
how Afrobeat yes, the Nigerian entertainment industry is arguably the second best in the world right now after America, arguably. So on the outside it's good, but on the inside is a lot of crazy stuff going on. Not to even mention, the fishy stuff that we'll say first, the crazy stuff going on, like high service.
Hmm.
Because in that world, it's dog eat dog in that world.
Interesting. Because now what me I'm thinking is, when you tell people about the Nigerian entertainment industry, and although there are a lot of people that are still aspiring to become an entertainer, probably by doing either musical or video skits, and then from there find their way into Nollywood, and then or those that are aspiring to become a musician and they want to make it in life. Now, one thing I find out is
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people with real talents that have real music, and that are real talented when it comes to cinematography. But for some reason that I don't know, this kind of, even though that these people, not that they sat at home, many of them try to become a star, or many of them try to climb this ladder, but eventually when they started climbing along the way, I see there are some people that I know personally. There was one that we attended the same school together. His name is Enoch, and it was my class, not my
Mm-hmm.
classmate, but I think we were in the same set. He's in the third class from my class, but the same set. So this guy is, when it comes to acting, this guy is very talented. This guy is very, very good, and he tried to pursue his musical career, and he was a Christian. He's a very strong Christian indeed. But along the line, when he started going to the National Art Theater, and then he started meeting some people, all of a sudden Enoch dropped complete interest totally for he dropped complete interest for this acting career, and then he just faced his Christian life and then walk away from it. The same way I knew someone also that was a musician. His name was Kudi. this guy is a rapper. And then one of the day he called me and said that he has left music. And I asked him why. He told me that the things is high saw that if someone had told him that the entertainment industry was this way, that he wouldn't have believed it. That there is, quote unquote, this is what he said. He hinted it to me that there is some sort of rituals going on in order for you to climb
Hmm.
the ladder. So I'm going to bring the question to you now. What do you think? Is there really a ritual in this entertainment industry? Because this is something, if there is one, it's going to be a great, an eye opener if there is one actually. So I'm asking you, do you really think that there is some sort of ritual going on in Nigeria entertainment industry?
Yes. Let me um let me preface this by, let's start with like a primary source, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that you and I know that when it comes to anything Nigeria, for the most part, our things are usually like oral. It's
Yes.
not until, let's say, maybe the last maybe 50 years that we now started to put a lot of things into writing or
Mm.
recording or things like that.
Yes.
Any information our parents passed exactly, it's usually oral. So that's why even in the Nigerian entertainment industry, it's even easier for them to hide that secret unless you are in it, or
Mm.
you engage in it. Because look at America for an example. Anything they were doing since the country was founded, it was always documented or something like, and someone will write a book. But in Nigeria, um, people do it, but no one is really doing that.
Hmm. Okay, I think your mic is muted. Please unmute your mic.
Oh,
Okay, sorry, I had to move the room to private room because someone just came in and then he left. Please continue.
oh, okay, okay. So, was I on mute the entire time,
No, no, no,
or?
not the entire time. Just like 2 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. So yes, okay. Thank you, my brother. So when we look at let's go to a primary source, right? That I have here. So everybody knows whiskey. Everybody
Yes,
knows whiskey.
yes.
Exactly. Ayodeji Balogun by name.
Hmm.
He um he signed an artist in 2018 by the name of Alo Inas. ALO, last name INNAS. So surprisingly, this guy made an allegation against Wizkid. Everything on this podcast is alleged.
True.
Okay,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So let me read it. I
Hmm.
got this from Nigerian. It says, fast rising musician Alo Inas made an allegation against Nigerian superstar Wizkid on Snapchat earlier today. The latter accused Wizkid of having a shrine in his house.
Wow.
Wizkid made an announcement on Snapchat last year May, hinting us on a possible addition to his Starboy crew after posting a video of Alo Inas filling what looks like to be a recording contract form. Later this year, Wizkid made another announcement about another artist, Terry, on social media. Worried fans felt bad for Alo Inas. Hmm.
That's
During a
interesting.
radio interview, very interesting. During a radio interview this week, Alo Inas was asked why he didn't. No, excuse me. Alo Inas was asked why he wasn't on Starboy label. The singer made a shocking statement accusing Wizkid of having a shrine in his house that he consults before he signed a new artist. Now,
Oh.
when this rumor was ongoing, brother Joseph, guess what Wizkid stated?
Hmm. I would really
He
like to know.
said, he tweeted this. He said, "Alo Inas could not take risks."
Interesting.
Right. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, to me, I really think you don't just make such statement when someone accused you of having a shrine in your house. So it's more or less like he was hinting that, look, if you want to make this thing, you got to bow down to the same thing I'm bowing down to.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Of course. And not to digress, that same year was the year that Whiskey bought a goat. This is the same year he bought a goat, and he said the people should help him welcome the goat um to his family as a pet. But of course, a lot of Nigerians don't have a spirit. They don't have spiritual high,
Yeah, they don't see things.
or right, or they don't. It's not their fault, or they don't know the things that you and I know. If people are listening to us now, they may say, "This what these guys, these guys are crazy." They will
Yeah.
say we are crazy. As a matter of fact, you and I, maybe I don't know about you, but me 10 years ago, if you were saying these things to me, I would say like you don't know what you're talking about. Well, right. But thank God for opening our eyes to be able to see what's going on around us clearly. You know, it's just very interesting. That that same year was the year he bought the goat, and this pattern of this goat is becoming more prominent. I don't know if you know the new hot artist by the name of Ashake.
Yeah, I did, and I saw the goat he took to London, or what? What did he even took the
Oh
goat
wow!
to do the same thing on stage?
Right,
And that cannot be a
and that's it.
coincidence.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. It's a reoccurring thing that we see uh, right now, and it's at a stage now where a lot of people are under a mass spell, allegedly, where they can't even see what is going on.
True,
That they are able to bring this to your front of your eyes,
and you not
and
even
people are
see it.
still asleep. Right.
Interestingly, I did do some research myself into this growth thing. I
Hmm.
find out that not just only it always happens to most especially people that are at the top. Either you see them taking pictures with goats, or you see them taking pictures with a serpent, and
Wow.
you don't just take pictures with these kinds of animal, because the Bible clearly tells you that this animal are in representation of the evil one, which is the devil, the
Of course.
Satan. Now
Of
we
course.
know clearly the Bible calls him that old serpent, and okay, we can say, okay, maybe, of course, the all animals were created by God. Some people want to argue that there is nothing wrong in having a snake. Well, yes, snake is an animal, but when it comes to the entertainment industry, there are things, to me personally, there are things that are just beyond you telling us that, oh, you're having this as a pet, and then you see people taking pictures. Some will not even have it as a pet, but the position by which they will take pictures with the animal, the way they will be pushing an agenda with the same animal to allow people to just, just, it is more or less like they are trying to make a publicity for that particular thing. Some of these same celebrities, some of them has dogs and cats at home, but you don't see the dogs and the cats pictures on the internet. But when it comes to the very old one, most especially the one that has
Right.
to do with goat, that is the god of wealth, which is Baphomet, or that has to do with serpents, which is the devil of himself. Those ones are the ones you see on the internet. Man, it's crazy. And do you really think that these things now they're doing it on purpose?
Are you talking about the entertainers?
Yes, yes. I'm talking about the entertainers. Because some people will want to
Um,
argue that, oh, they are, it's just a fluke, it's a random thing now, it's a coincidence or something like that. They say if it happens once, it's a fluke. If it happens twice, it's a coincidence. But once it happens more than two times, it is no longer a coincidence, it's now a fact.
mhm. The thing is, this is a podcast, so there's not so much we can show. But there's just too much information out there. Like all these artists, once again, everything I'm saying is alleged.
Yeah,
They all bow down to that goat entity which you call Baphomet. They all have to adhere to that goat entity. Let me elaborate.
Yeah.
So, for anybody listening to this, the Baphomet is spelled Baphomet. B as in boy, O as in orange, P as in Peter, H as in horse, O as in orange, M as in mother, E as in elephant, and T as in Tom. Baphomet. Did I spell that? Did I spell that right here? B
Yeah,
A
that's
P H.
absolutely correct.
Right. Phomet. Yes. So when you look up this entity, and I'm pretty sure my brother you are familiar with it.
Oh,
It
of
has a
course.
goat head. Exactly. It has a female breast and a goat's leg, and you can tell that it also has like a male arm. Like
A male
it's a
structure.
combination. Right. It's a combination of male and female into one with like a bestial nature. You understand?
Yeah.
So when we look at it from that perspective, this is why you see. I'll give an example, a very recent example. I was on Instagram because, of course, my eye is always looking at all these things, so I know what is going on with these people, what they are doing.
Yeah.
I was looking at Joe Boy Akinwale, and his real name is Akinwale. Joe Boy. I know you don't really follow music like that, so you
No,
may not know.
not too much. Not too
Yes,
much.
exactly. So yeah, so you may not know, but I know the popular ones like Burna Boy. I know you know those guys, but
Yeah, yeah.
this guy, they recently had a photo shoot. You know what? Let me so that people who are listening, even you, my brother, even after this, so that you can maybe look at this and verify. And everything I'm saying, people can verify. Let me pull this up. Let me go to his page real quick and pull this up. Okay, it's not. This is it. So he was invited to a fashion show that was held by Etro or Etro, Etro, right? And in this fashion show, Mr. Joe Boy Akinwale, a very prominent Nigerian artist at the moment, he was is seen to wear a very long, like a dress, like a woman, right? So when I click on this Etro page, who did the photo shoot, um, it is not a obviously it is not a Nigerian um photo shoot or fashion company. So what you find is that when I looked at the picture that Joe Boy took on that Etro page, they tagged the photographer who took that picture on that page. So Joe Boy tagged the page, but on that page, which Joe Boy tagged, they tagged the photographer that took that picture. So me, being being the researcher, the curious mind that I am, I clicked on that photographer, and guess what I found, my brother?
What did you find?
He is an homosexual.
Wow. Wow.
He clearly even has it on his page. He said, "My body, my sexuality, my morals, my life, my choice, not yours." He
Wow.
promotes LGBTQ on his page. The post is right here with LGBTQ colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Right here.
Interesting.
Very interesting, right? And that's why you see guys like Burna Boy performing on stage with a crop top that women wear. That's why you see Fireboy in his last show in Los Angeles wearing a skirt.
So it's more or less
You
like they are trying
mentioned
to push the idea of a man becoming a woman becoming a man.
both exactly, my brother. I remember we talked about the Baphomet image. It's like bringing together the opposites. Right is wrong and wrong is right. As above, so below.
So
That's why
below.
the Baphomet image is pointing up and pointing down.
Correct. I did check on the Joe Boys. While you were talking, I just did a little bit of Google search on him and I checked the images. and then I could see that he was throwing the Baphomet on fingers, the finger sign, and covering his right eye,
Yup.
his right eye, to
Yup.
symbolize that he's been initiated into the Illuminati.
See, I've seen that picture before. I did not It did not even come to my mind. You see?
Wow, this is
And you just looked it up, and all of a sudden
and
you are
that is
seeing
that. So
this.
wow, it's crazy.
Imagine.
It's crazy. And the interesting thing is, most people that see these people on their social media, they don't have any idea anything that has to do with of occultism, and how they've sold, some of them have sold their soul to the devil, and they just sold their soul to get the money. And when you tell some people, because of like what you said earlier, it's like a lot of people has been bewitched. Like when you tell people that, look, this is not normal. This person has done something. That is why they are becoming popular. Money don't go on tree. There are thousands of musicians out there. For them to just come out of nowhere and then boom, they are gone. It has something to do that is beyond the physical eye. Now, so what I wanted to ask is, now we've already established a case on the ground showing you that, okay, there is something going on in the industry that has to do with occult, and these guys are they are dressing in a way that is not, they are not supposed to be dressing. So they need, because in before you see a fire, before you see a smoke, there must always be a fire, and behind the fire there's a firewood, and there's someone holding a lighter that lights it up. So what made me to say that is this. Now, who do you think is behind, or who do you think is the mastermind behind all this industry shenanigans that is going on?
That is a loaded question. But once again, everything we're saying is, is alleged.
Yeah, it is.
The Oh, excuse me, sorry.
No, it's okay.
The when you there is a record label that is signing every Nigerian record label owner right now by the name of Empire.
Hmm.
They are signing every Nigerian record label. We look at Kiss Daniel, except Whiskey. I know you know Olamide. I know you know
Yes,
Olamide.
yes.
Um, Reminisce. All those. They are just signing all of them. And I tried to do some research on that person. It's not on Wikipedia. It's not on Britannica. I couldn't see a lot about that person, but his name is Gazi, and he's a Jewish man.
Hmm.
And when you look at the prominent record labels in America, they are also owned by the so-called Jewish man. And even the prominent um, infrastructures in America, like Disney, ESPN, the people at the top who owns it are the Jewish men. Okay, so what? It's not just because they are Jewish or because they are so-called white men. What you find is these people, when they reach that higher level, they have a level of like a brotherhood that they have amongst each other. That okay, this is what we do. And what is that? It's what I call the Babylonian mystery school system. So people like to call it the Illuminati, but as you can, the Illuminati word was saturated, and I believe they did it on purpose. You know,
Okay,
Illuminati. There was
more
not
or less
Illuminati,
like to
Illuminati. So when
more or less like to throw people off when they are trying
I
to search the entire thing. They will know it, but they will not get the full picture. It's like to throw them off. That's like maybe let me say it's like a mirage name, you know. Oh, it's Illuminati, Illuminati. When you ask people about Illuminati, they will only think it in, oh, they are occultic people and they are wicked people, but they can't get the entirety of the whole picture. But when you understand the Babylonian school system that you're saying right now, one will be able to comprehend the entire full picture of it and know the amount of tentacles it has. If am I correct?
of course, 100%,
Please carry
of
on.
course, because yes, because what you notice is that when you say Illuminati, a lot of people already think you are saying some nonsense, right? They already, it's like Illuminati. Oh, Joseph and with God already here again with this the Illuminati stuff,
Hmm.
because that word has been saturated on purpose. Um, just to throw people off, like you said, so people won't care as much. They just think it's just something like that. So I like to call it like the Babylonian mystery school system, because that's where it comes from. Because remember, Nimrod, yeah, because people, what people are listening, let's not throw them off too much. Because Nimrod was the one who led the apostasy against God after the flood, and Nimrod was he was a homosexual. He was bisexual. They had this thing going on where, just like America today. So
Yeah.
anybody think that the spirit of America today is new? I know you know it's not new. You've done
No,
some
no,
history
no,
on
no,
home.
no, 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 no.
It's not new. That spirit is not new.
At all.
It has been since the time of the Tower of Babel. It just keeps coming back through the Assyrian Empire, through the Roman Empire, and down to America today. Even Egypt. Let me not forget Egypt.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So Sodom and Gomorrah too. So we see it a consistent theme, and you know, if we say that, I know let's not talk about spirit, and obviously we know it's like a spirit behind it, but let's not talk about that. But in context of which you asked the question, there
Yes.
are definitely people who are behind this. And right now, if you look at it from a race angle, like we, people like that look like you and I, we are not the one that is running the world right now, unfortunately. We are not the one that own all these major league sport or all this thing. So unfortunately, we are not the one that is like signing people like
True.
artists or entertainers. Yes, we are not the one. Like we have to go to them, unfortunately. I even saw a picture recently of the Prince Omoba. He was sitting
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them signing contract. So unfortunately, we have to go to them right now. So, but as people ascend on that ladder, like you said earlier, the more demonic they become. And so at that point, they see themselves as brothers. But the people who initiate our people into this thing, it happens to be the people that are in power, that hold that access to power, to the resources of the earth at this moment. And it's just a recurring thing that can't be denied. Because all the major corporations are owned by them, but you can only tap into it. Remember, my brother Joseph, what does the Bible say? What does he? I'm just roughly paraphrasing. A man to lose his soul, because for
Yeah.
what does it? Something around the man.
You say, what
Help
what
me
what
out.
what what will a man get?
What does
What
it
will
profit a
the
man?
man, yeah, to gain the
Exactly.
world and lose his
To
own
gain the
soul?
word. Exactly. Thank you very much, my brother. So that's what happens. So when you go, even if it's us, right? That, because think about this. I know you know that the ancient Egyptians were, they were, obviously they were black people,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you they had this thing going on too. So even people at that, it's not just about Oyibo thing. Even at that time, before you have the access to the power, or like the upper class, you being the top of the board at that time, Egypt is like America back in their own time, like
True,
5,000 years ago.
true.
They ruled, yeah, they were like America, they were the world power. So even before you run things at that time, you have to go to them, and of course, you have to join their occult. So it's like it doesn't even matter the race. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That is in
yeah.
power. It's like
So
that spirit is just
it's more or less like the a spirit that is running the show. Because me particularly, I believe this is more than just human being thing. And a lot of people tend to think
right.
it's between no, a human being the runner, it's human being that is running this thing. But I know fully well, that the occult industry, the humans are more or less like the puppets. And I believe that the ones that are responsible for it are the ones that are trying to bring the new age system and the esoteric system and the occult system, which they've been bringing before, which are the I don't want to spoil it now, because I know we'll still have this session. This is going to be like the part one. We still have a part two where we will talk about the entities that is
Let's
actually,
save some things for later.
yeah, when we talk about the entities that is actually behind the whole thing. So I just really wanted to know. And funny thing, this is the first time I'm hearing about this Empire record. I have never heard anything of that about them before. Interesting. I've never
Yes.
even heard anything about the Empire record.
The reason, let me even tell you the reason why I even decided to do some research on it. And I'll still do some more, because there just have to be something out there.
Hmm.
Has to be something out there. The guy is too. He keeps so much to himself that I was like, only his name. He's a Jewish guy. Only his name. Like what else? Like his background. Because you can tell a lot about these people when you look at their background. When you look at their appearance, you can tell a lot when you look
Hmm.
at things like that. But you know, what led me to start looking at that empire stuff, my brother, was any video I look, because when these guys release video, I want to see what they are doing there. Like I want to know what's their on. I'll see that empire. What is going on? So it's like they go to all these Nigerian artists. Olamide now, for an example, is the owner of YBN. They'll go to him. This is the contract. We are going to sign you. We have your label, but we're going to help you promote your music more. That's how that works. So they are just making other Nigerian labels like their subsidiary. You understand? So
Hmm.
they are signing everybody. I was like, wow, like these people must have that for you to sign Kiss Daniel, Olamide, Fino, almost damn near everybody outside of Don Jazzy. That one is Baba. We,
Yeah.
we have another special conversation about that man. Another
Yeah, I believe
a whole podcast.
we're going to have a whole time to do podcast on Don Jazzy's case. Because
That's
to
a
be
whole.
honest, I used to be someone that really loved Don Jazzy, in my younger years. So I don't really know much about him.
Of
I always
course.
see him as someone that smiles, and until recently there was something I saw on his Instagram page that I think that was in 2019 or 2020. That thing changed my perspective about him completely at once. So I don't hate him still, but then it's not the same eye I used to
No,
look at
there's
him
no hate.
then. I used to
Yeah,
look
there's
at him
no
now and
hate
again.
towards our brothers.
No, not at
Like,
all.
like there's no hate towards our brothers, but when we see these things, it's our job to point them out. That's just the truth.
True,
We
true.
can't, yeah. There's no hate towards our brothers.
So
They can repent. Some of these people can repent.
that's there are so many of them that are that have left the occult. At least there was one I knew of. I read about him. He was a blogger. He was into this new age practicing. He was practicing new age,
Hmm.
and eventually, one of the days when he encountered Christ, and he was one that was giving a testimony. He said, one of the things you feel you as if you're practicing new age, though it's look like enlightenment, after a while the spirit behind it will start, which is exactly the next point you're going to talk about anyway. The spirit will start pushing the person to either commit suicide, start talking to them, they start having different type of thoughts in their mind, though they have money but they don't have peace, no rest. So he was crying, and then one day he asked that, God, please help me. If you are real, help me. And then that was when Christ walked into his life. He says, according to his own word, that I didn't see him, but I felt his presence. And it says, and from that day onward, he dropped everything that has to do with New Age and he decided to follow Christ. And boy, oh boy, this guy transformed. And one of the things he said is, while he was practicing New Age, he had a lot of money. Like when he was posting about on New Age and esoteric things and about witchcraft, that he was making a lot of money. But the moment he identified with Christ, bro, this guy, he ran wreck immediately. All the money, everything, his house was seized, his cars, everything was seized. He didn't know how it happened. And I believe that these people have a lot of networks, like a lot of both spiritually and physical networks that is beyond something you can just be tracing up and down. Now, moving on to the next question. Now, we know that this is introducing occult into the musical industry system, and you see, if you look in music videos, and there was something you did mention, I believe, but I don't think we should talk about it in this episode. Maybe the next episode that will come, we can talk about it again. You talk something about Rema, but I'm not going to go there now. I believe they are trying to push the idea of New Age, the New Age system, and the witchcraft occultism into our people, and because the time is already winding up very very fast, and it's more or less like they are trying to make their work as fast as possible. They are signing who they can sign, they are bringing who they can bring in, and causing more calamity and confusion, even as going as far as disrupting a country's whole economy. You understand? So
Yeah.
what do you think are the goals behind the satanic and the new age practices in the entertainment industry? What are the goals that is behind all these things?
Wow. these things you just mentioned, you definitely are, my brother. You are a spiritual person, my brother. That's beautiful. Um,
Thanks.
the goal behind it, right, is to complete what they quote unquote call the great work.
Hmm.
Okay, now this is not according to me. What's the name of the book, Seth? But let me just explain what that means.
All
But
right.
I just used to call it great work because it's a phrase that I got from. That's not my phrase. It's like they are putting the capping stone on top of the pyramid. That they are completing the great work that who started, that Nimrod started. Remember, um, God wiped the earth with flood
Yes.
when everything was wicked.
Exactly.
And I read a book called Pre-Flood Technology. In case people do not know, there was technology before the flood.
Oh, I am one of those that strongly believe that. In fact, I did a careful study on the book of Genesis, and then I read some apocryphal books, including the book of Giants, the book of Yasha, the book of Enoch, and I checked some archaeological research, and I find that yes, there was crazy technology before the flooded the world. In fact, one of the testimonies that was written in the book of Enoch was that the fallen angels taught men how to sacrifice their womb to make them to live eternally as youth. And that's crazy. Even that kind of technology, we don't have it this time around, and they have it as far back as of that time. And that's crazy. Please carry on. Please carry on. I just wanted to add that.
Yes, listen, there's so much to discuss, but I just had to point that out, so that people get the understanding that there was technology before. Because once again, Mr. Joseph,
Yeah.
the Bible is true. If the Bible says there is nothing new under the sun, what does that mean?
Means there is nothing new, brother.
I mean, right. So this is how people have to understand that this is true. There was a painting. There's a painting. Look up. I know you're on your computer. You can look up flying saucers.
Yeah,
SAUCERS.
I
Flying
know what
saucers.
flying saucers are.
Yeah. Right. You will see the flying saucers in paintings of antiquity. How did
Yes.
they know about this? So that's just. I read the book. Maybe on that day, I'll bring out some quotes from the book. Things like that. Prefer technology, but so God had to wipe Earth, and what you see is that we are heading towards that again. So I have a lot of people don't agree. Obviously everybody cannot agree on everything, but I think that this world that we currently live in, God will have to wipe it with fire, and you can see maybe the traces of it, things like that. It's probably going to be a thermonuclear destruction that is coming next for this place, because
Yeah.
the wickedness is just too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
And as it is now, it's even
So
getting out of control. I've never seen a level of wickedness as this type before. These days now, truth is being censored so bad. Please carry on, but it's just crazy.
exactly, exactly. That's a whole maybe topic we have to discuss. If truth
Yeah.
being censored, that's that's that one itself. Like it's just you can't even talk anything against. You know what? You are right. Let me just carry on to. So what I think the end goal is to finish the work that Nimrod started, because after the flood, Cush, the son of Noah, no, sorry, excuse me, I think Am is the son of Noah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
Cush is the son of Am. Yeah, excuse me. Then Nimrod is the son of Cush. Um, they it was the one Cush was the one that brought back that this whole ideology, because remember Noah, a lot of people disagree on this, and that's okay. Remember Noah, Am saw Noah's nakedness. What does that mean?
Hmm.
This is we could talk about another day, but that spirit that was the time of the serpent to Cain to this and that and the flood, that spirit is like it lives on. And what you see is that Nimrod tried to bring it back during the time of the Tower of Babel. Even in that pre-flood technology book, that Tower of Babel, people think is just brick. No, those people had it was technology. How do you think they want to build tower to heaven if it's not technology? You think it's brick?
Yeah, and if they don't have technology as of that time, how can you make a foundation that is so strong it's able to take up a skyscraper? And that's you can't and
Right.
if they don't have access to technology, they can't do that.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I believe the Egyptian pyramid, the stone on top, I think is made out of platinum or something like that, and it controls some maybe lightning. There's something called the Baghdad battery, 2,000-year-old battery. People can look it up, the Baghdad battery. But this is just for memory right now. But once again, it's just to complete that work that Nimrod has started, which is what is everybody doing what they want so that we can be free from the Most High. God. See, the Bible is the only thing that makes everything make sense.
True.
There are some things that we can disagree on, maybe doctrine or something. But my brother, the thing that we cannot disagree on is those commandments, that take one that God gave us, that we
Yeah, you
can know
can't.
right from wrong. We can't disagree on it.
You
That
can't.
we can know that, oh, a man is supposed to be with a woman. You're not supposed to take your neighbor's wife. You're not supposed to commit adultery. You're not supposed to steal. Those moral laws that God gave us is not debatable.
True.
But they are trying to remove it because they believe that it's a shackle that God held us in. You understand, my brother? So that's that's the work. And that's why you see they make some movies like Independence Day. Old movies. What does that mean, Independence Day? That's when some quote unquote aliens
Hmm.
came from space, right?
Yeah.
To attack Earth. And what are they trying to tell us in that movie? Let me give you a very better example. Maybe this will make sense. A movie from I think 2016 called Battle LA. Now, listen to this, oh my brother. Battle LA, meaning Battle Los Angeles,
Yeah.
right? The word Los Angeles is a Spanish word that means angels.
Hmm.
Battle angels. And in this movie, what happened? We have some quote unquote aliens that came from space to come and attack the earth and they were fighting them. So if you think about that Independence Day, what are they trying to tell us? What are we gaining independence from? They want us to gain independence from God so we can just do whatever we want. This is what this is about.
And interestingly, if I could remember the Aleister Crowley, which was a full known notorious
Right.
satanic satanism, one of his quote is that do as thou will shall be the whole of the law. And
Tell me, ma.
this is one of the goals. In fact, the major goal they've been trying to push, and
Yes,
it's fulfilling in our days so fast. It's crazy.
that's what it is, my brother. That is just what it is. The people just want to be able to do what they want. And if you notice, not to go there, oh, they'll tell us, oh, all you have to do is just accept. These people are just homosexuals. They just want to be accepted in society. Okay, no Allah. Before you know, it's okay now. They just want to change their agenda. They are just good people. Oh, okay, no Allah. Oh no, they like little children. That's where we are going,
I'm
my brother.
telling you, I'm telling you. And look at the Epstein case that is still happening right now. And maybe on another time we'll talk about that. I don't want us to deviate from the real topic because we're getting real too deep.
Exactly. It is too broad and too deep.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
too deep.
Okay, so let
You
me
know.
ask you this. All right. Okay, do you think it is only musicians, and because normally I know that musicians are literally the one that are always, even people that are in the movie industries, they don't appear mostly on social media to promote these things compared to musicians. Musicians are all over the place. Everywhere you go, they're always there. So, do you really think that it's only musicians? Musicians are the only one that is practicing this occult and new age and is trying to push the agenda to people.
Oh no, 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 no. I think you and I had a brief conversation before about the Masons. If you were the one that
Hmm.
even told me about it,
Yeah, yeah,
I
we
have
did.
never even thought about that they were Masons in Nigeria.
Yeah. Oh,
But
they've been
it's
here
not
for a
only the
very, very, very,
musicians.
very long time.
Interesting, very interesting. That's something I never even thought of until you brought it to my attention. The artist. I know we're talking about entertainment industry, so let's
Yeah,
just keep it to it. So
yeah.
it's not just the musicians, my brother. The the so-called skits. When we started this podcast, you mentioned the skit makers.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what's interesting about the skit makers? I was looking at this, and Sydney Tucker, right?
Yeah, I know him.
I don't know the brother. I know he's a Yoruba brother, but I don't know his real name. I forgot his real name. Brother, he makes the brother very. Our people, talented set of people. Like, I want people to understand this thing. Because you and I are saying these people engage in occult does not mean they are not talented. Oh.
Oh,
You
they are,
you
they are,
have
they are talented.
they are exactly. You have to have a level of talent, self. You have to be talented. But it's just for you to get it out there, you just have to put out. These are talented people. But Sidney Tucker, when you check a lot of his kids, very
Hmm.
funny. But in his kids, he tends to wear, even the last one I saw, I was like, wow. I was going to the comment, like over 30,000 comments. People laughing, laughing. I was trying to find if there's someone that sees what I see, you know? I was looking like over 30,000 people like this. The guy was wearing, he dressed up like as a stripper,
Wow.
a whole man.
Wow.
You know what strippers wear now? All this
Yeah,
stringy
yeah, yeah,
lingerie.
yeah, yeah.
Numerous videos when he was scared. And you know how, it's easier for these kids and movie people to do it. My
Yeah.
brother, they can easily do it
Cross
as if, oh,
dressing.
I'm just acting. Exactly. I had the whole PDF, like literally, my brother. Every Now, I'm not too familiar with the Igbo side of outside of Akin and Popo, even themselves they did it. And Mr. Ibu, I'm not too familiar. And this man that did Sophia, I'm not too familiar with the Sophia. Don't enter London. I know you know that movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or maybe
Sophia
it's
in
very
London.
old. Yeah. So, I'm not too familiar with the Igbo side of the movie, except the really popular ones, the Sophia Man, Akina Popo, Mr. Ibu, those men. But what you find out is the prominent men in the acting industry, my brother, they've all cross-dressed. All of them.
Hmm.
All of them.
Hmm.
Odunlade Adekola, as talented as that
Yeah.
brother is.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Femi
seen,
Adebayo.
I've seen. I think it was a movie I saw him do that too, and many of them they've all cross dressed. And I thought I was the only one that was noticing this as well, including people like Sabinus, and even brother Shaggy was one of the person I wanted to even talk
Yes.
about. He even took it to a step closer when Shaggy, there was one picture he posted on his social media. You right? He dressed in the costume of Pan, the god called Pan, small G.
Really?
Yes, brother Shaggy. Yes, I
When
I
was this?
this was I think last year or the last 2 years or thereabouts.
Wow, let me see if I can. Wow. I thought you were going to talk about the one that dressed like a woman. He did a ritual. He dressed like a woman. He was not working in the market selling pants. He,
Oh,
he dressed like a woman. I think, wow. I
let
even
me
thought that was what you were going to
let me
say.
let me show you. I think if I can send you a link so that you see it. He dressed like
Please do.
Pan. Holding,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Let me see. Okay, look at this. This is legit.ng. You can check the link out
My
and
brother, this one itself is a whole topic itself. The emasculation in Hollywood. Honestly, this is a whole different topic too.
yeah, it
Wow.
is. I just posted. Okay, let me post the link up. I just put the link up now. Put in the chat and up. It's crazy. When I saw this, I was
Ah,
like, "What?" So, and funny thing, the when he did that, all right, his outfit won
let me
the
find the.
best outfit of the year. He won an award for doing that.
Oh boy, Lord and Christ. Let me. What? This is 20. This is 2022 April. Wow, almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This,
yeah. This
this,
is.
this
This
is
is.
when I saw it. I
Yeah.
was like, what? So I at first, as of that time, I wasn't really taking the Nigerian music industry, the Nigerian entertainment industry serious. I never thought they've gone into occult or anything. But when I begin to notice the cross dressing, that was when it's becoming a little bit suspicious to me.
Apparent.
Yeah, like what is
Mhm.
what is going on with these guys, and Why are they all, why are they all putting on the females dress? And it's crazy. To be honest, it's crazy.
It is, and and my brother. That's what you notice. I know you might have noticed that the men are painting nails too.
Yeah, yeah. And interestingly, man, some of these people, I believe, to me, I believe some of them practices both gayism and some of them are bisexual. Because I could remember as of one time, this is also allegedly. Nobody should come and hold me.
Yeah, everything
Okay,
is
so
alleged.
I remembered one certain time where there was a rumor and the news that was floating around about Brother Shaggy, that not Brother Shaggy, sorry, about Fino, that Fino was caught with a man or something like that. And
I
and
have the picture. I have
and,
the picture.
and someone said that he noticed that he has never seen Fino with a woman before. And I'm like, wait, that's true. There's no record
That's
of this.
true.
There's no record of this guy having a girlfriend or
It
a
doesn't
fiance.
even have a
Nothing.
child.
Nothing.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I think that.
Hmm. You know, that's my brother, that's interesting because I'm thinking about it now because for the most part, even though I know that the video whiskey, all those guys they do the same thing, but they still it's like they go both ways. I think
Mm.
Fino is just one way.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I believe that too
Interesting.
as well. So man,
Wow, interesting.
it's crazy. It's crazy on how far these people are going, just to see how much, just to make it. And I believe, there was a testimony I had one certain time. So I don't know if you know this woman. They called I've forgotten her name. She was a Yoruba woman. She used to belong in the occult, and then she later repented and gave her life to Christ. Uh, so when she came out of it and she started exposing the occult industry, she talked about people like Yinka Ifele. She talked a lot of things. Like literally, she exposed a lot of these people and said that many of the people, including the people at the top, they are all into the occult. And this was as far back as of the 1990s. I'm telling you. Uh,
Please, my brother, do you have a link to this? Please, I have
it's
to
it's
do
an it's
some.
an old it's an old this was the before the internet era. She exposed a lot and funny thing is everybody knows this woman to be a very strong occultic woman before she started professing Christ. And she's one of the things she said is that Yinka Ifele used his leg. This is allegedly. Yinka Ifele sacrificed his leg to gain fame. That was one of the things
I
she
heard
said.
that before.
She was the one
Hmm.
that said it. She was the one that said it. And so
I wouldn't put it
yeah.
past even my brother. All these famous gospel artists like Tope Alabi, my brother, they are all into it.
And as for that Tokbelabi own case, this is going to offend a lot of people, but to be honest, I don't really care. I'm going to tell you.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you the truth either way. I used to believe, listen to Tokbelabi too before, but there was when I started seeing
What
her,
about me? Everybody.
when I started seeing her, associating with the musical industry, the entertainment industry, and the people that are into people you would consider worldly people, and I started seeing her attending these high events and putting on all these makeups and all these things, and dressing in some kind of very funny way that is very very questionable. You we cannot identify. Your appearance is not even looking like a saint. We can't really tell the difference between you and someone that is into the industry. And no, that's when I begin to have suspicion about that lady, that there is something wrong with this lady. There is something wrong, but I never really came to any conclusion because I never pay. I didn't. I'm not the type that listen to the. I don't really listen to music that much, and I don't really pay much attention to the entertainment industry. But when I just observe it from afar, when I look at something, it is not really that hard to see if you've taken time to study the occult and to understand the things that are going on in the industry. So the moment you say it, it's very easy to identify. When you see someone that has compromised, it is very hard for them to hide it. Even funny thing, it even go beyond the entertainment industry. We have so many people that are even pastors, and I believe we can talk about that some other time.
Oh my God, my brother, this is oh my God. Yeah, we have to be able to. This is are just different sectors. I'm just This is beautiful. Because the more we're even talking about is the like you see how deep the rabbit hole is.
Yeah, it is. It is. So
It is so deep.
let me ask you this. So do you believe that it is everyone that is in the industry that is part of this? Or there are some
No,
people that are in the industry that are not part of it, but they're also in the industry?
no. I think for you to be in the industry, um, you can't serve God at the same time. For you to any level, but the people that are deep into the occult, some people are just floating around. They don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I have a friend. Um, he's still floating. He's in Lagos. They're just trying to get his way in, things like that. I I had a presentation about the entertainment industry, a PDF. So I sent it to him. He was shocked. Um, then he confessed some things to me.
Wow.
Um, about how he met some guys, very rich guy that is sending him very proclivity pictures on his Snapchat.
Hmm.
This is man to man. You sending him some things. And we already, this is a podcast. We can't speak all. We want to say those things, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, sending him, his private part on Snapchat. This is a grown man sending it to him, and the man was telling him that he should come over to his place. That he's going to sign him. He's going to promote his. This is a rich man
Damn.
in Lagos. This is a friend of mine that I've known since I was in high school.
Damn.
That is still trying to find his way to the entertainment industry, things like that. He's in Lagos, right? So I see his post recently. He's still doing it, but I'll just let him know, like, my brother, you are a grown man. At the end of the day, I can't hold your hand to tell you what to
True.
do. I can only show you what is going on. Hopefully, you see it.
Hmm.
You can't make it. You are looking at whiskey all this Olamide. You want to make it like this, man. There are things you have to do, my guy.
True, true.
They are unthinkable. Yeah,
Interestingly, sometimes I believe the poverty that is going on in Nigeria and every part of the world right now is automatic. It's engineered to make people's
right.
thinking capacity become low, so that they will, like there was an experiment that was done. If you put a rat in a bucket, if you put a bunch of rats in a bucket and then you starve them, after a while the rats will start eating themselves to survive. You understand? The same way, this industry, this thing that is happening in every country in the entire world, um, it has to do, to me, I believe it has to do with a careful planning to bring poverty and disease into the world, because everyone will start looking for a way to escape and to make themselves, okay in any means. And in the process of that, some of them will start signing deals with the devil so that they can stay afloat. And I strongly, I will always tell people, I strongly believe it to the core that there is only two ways to make money. Forget about how much you can work. Forget about your working. Forget about, no matter how much you can work, you can never become a billionaire. If you become a billionaire, it's just by chance. If you don't sign a deal either with the devil or with God, you can't go to. There are some lengths you cannot cross, because they will have interest in you, because you can make serious impact. So they wouldn't want you to, to obstruct what is going on, and that's
Yeah, and that is something that when I started to understand what life is about and these things, this is why the Bible tells us to study. And blessed is he who readeth, so we know what is going on around us. My brother, I don't even want to be a Bill Gates, Dangote type of this thing. When you reach that level, not to even mention all these things that they are even doing. Um, you know how much microscope is on you? What kind of imagine that kind of life? All these guys, that's why you see all this Burna Boy whiskey. They smoke weed every day.
we drink a lot
They
of
do
alcohol.
drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was something I
They
would like
smoke
us to
coke.
talk about, that particular smoking and drinking of a thing, but I don't think it's now, because there was something I find out that some of these artists, I don't want to spoil it. Let us keep it for the next show.
Yeah, we
I believe
will.
when,
But I
we are
just
talking about the spiritual aspect, sorry, we will talk on these areas. There is something I find out about the drinking and why they drink, why they smoke, why they take a lot of drugs and all those things they do. Some of them is to so that they cannot really sometimes not fall asleep, because some things are chasing them in their dreams, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. So let me ask you. Let me ask you this. What do you
Mm.
think? What are your thoughts on the action and the consequences of that the occult has in these industries? What are your thoughts on the actions and the consequences it has? Because if you check it very very well now, more than 70 to 80% of people are, they, in one way or the other, they are consuming what is coming out of the industry, of the entertainment industry.
More like 90%, my brother. More like
That's
90%.
true. That's true.
As in,
So what do you think? What are your thoughts about it?
man, I think this current world that we're in right now is finished. That's my thought about it. It just depends on God whenever He decides just to do His thing now. Because if you really look at it, just look at what is going on in Nigeria
Hmm.
right now, Seth. We are Nigeria right now. The money is on pause. This is on purpose.
Yeah, it
The,
is.
I'm having a conversation with someone. We're talking about the mark of the beast. I was telling him, I said, look, if they want to make all the currency in the world digital, he said, oh, how can they do it in Nigeria? I said, are you kidding me? They pause money. People in Nigeria now, they will do anything for themselves to be able to buy something.
True.
They will do anything right now for it to buy fuel to do. Imagine if they remove the cash and say, okay, it's only Bitcoin. You think everybody in Nigeria will not start, even people, even women that are in markets, they will start doing their small, small Bitcoin on their phone right now.
True. Hmm.
So, yeah. So it's wait, let me not go I'm not going to that.
Hmm.
But what I really think about it is Ashake, I saw his one of his latest video. He had with Tiwa Savage, and in that video, and my brother, we have to talk about her NSAS to remember.
Oh
That one is another
yes,
topic for
yes. I
it's
really,
another topic for
I would
another day.
really, I really want us to talk. Probably, maybe I will just try to see if I can schedule these things, and then so that we can put them in order. Because that answer, so
Because
that was what I had you speaking in that room that you were, and then I put in the numbers together. I'm like, no, 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 this guy is absolutely correct. He is absolutely correct. So go ahead.
there's just something about that movement. Because since that time, that 2020 October 10, 10, 10, 20, which has like a 66 or 33 significance, by the way,
Hmm.
with that 10, 10, 20, the Nigerian entertainment industry is like boom for some reason
Hmm.
in front of the whole world. And remember, the people that were these are not talk for another day, but I bring that up. We'll talk about it later, but I bring that up to say that it is for re-engineering purposes, my brother. That's
Hmm.
what it's about. Because I remember when I was in 100 level, Olamide, you know, I didn't even know self until like a couple years ago when I started to get into this thing. There was a time, my brother, if you notice that every young male in Nigeria, they were tinting their hair.
Yeah.
They were just tinting,
Yeah.
tinting, 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 tinting. And you know that when you ascend that level of the quote unquote Babylonian mystery school system, you have to tint your head for a particular god called Apocrates. But
Hmm.
that's another discussion. You can talk about all these different gods,
Yeah.
we already maybe another day. Um it's just something you have to do. That's what you notice. Even Brother Shaggy has tinted it.
Yeah,
All of the
which includes and not limited to Whiskey. Even Ruga himself did the same thing.
yes, they must tint that hair for some reason. So what I said that to say that it is engineering. At that time, I was like, every young men are tinting their eye. I didn't do it at that. I was like, what's going on? But now that I look back, I'm like, wow, everybody were just doing what they saw Lamide did. That's how they program people.
Hmm.
Because even at that time, I didn't know everything. I didn't know anything, but I didn't do it. But I was just like, because I didn't have money that time, like, if I don't do them, like just to look cool, you understand? Like I
Yeah,
just belong, like I'm
yeah, yeah.
cool, you know? So that's why you see all these Nigerian guys, they are painting nails because they see Fireboy doing it, or they see this one doing it. There's an artist I want you to look up, Bella Shmurda, Bella
Yeah, I know, I
Shmurda.
know,
Look at that
I
brother.
know that name.
Yeah, he's always wearing skirts everywhere, everywhere,
Are you
just
serious?
everywhere. Ah, look, everywhere. Go on his Instagram right now. Look, that guy is not even hiding it. Everywhere, even his music video is just skirts all over the place,
Hmm.
all over the place. Like, so, it's a level of social engineering that they are trying to bring to Nigeria. And my brother, ask yourself why Nigeria, why Lagos? It's because Nigeria dictates the culture of entire Africa.
This
Like
this is
when you look
true.
at other right, when you look at other, let's just look at West Africa, other West African countries, they look at us, they try to speak our pidgin, they try to, they try to sing like us. So it's when if they can re-engineer through Nigeria, other country they follow.
And interestingly, Starlink just came to Nigeria, and Nigeria. Sorry, Starlink just came to Africa, and Nigeria is the very first country they came in, knowing fully well that Nigeria doesn't have good infrastructure. We have corrupt governments. We have so many things
Mhm.
that is going on, but they brought it first to Nigeria. Interestingly, the same country where the same they are also Nigeria is also the first African country to started imposing the cashless policy, the same very country where we know that they are working hand in
Cashless
hand.
policy already?
They've already started already. That is the entire reason why they are withholding the money. That is the main goal. The in era, because people are not using the in era. So
E-Naira.
there's in era in Nigeria now. You don't know electronic naira. It's been on since
Oh
last
my
year.
God.
You've
Oh
left
my
Nigeria for a
God.
very long time. You can check it online. So they are pushing
See,
they are pushing the cashless policy agenda very strongly. All right. So the
my brother,
few
that's the mark coming.
yeah,
The mark is
the
coming.
few of us that know, I'm telling you right now, I'm just trying to raise up a lot of money. I want to buy a land and then build a house that is very, very far away from where people are. I'm preparing for the end time. I'm telling you, I want to build a farm where I can farm my own crops. I can plant my crops and harvest my own food and have my own solar inverter where I cannot be traced. That is what I'm planning to do. And I've been working on this since 2019. I'm telling you, before the pandemic, because I've seen the sign and I know that it is coming, either you like it or not. It's going to take a lot of people on our way, but I don't want it to take me on our way. And that is why I'm working hard to get some
Wow.
money right now. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Now, to think of it with what you said, and I do agree with you on that, that Nigeria is a point of influence on the other African nation. Because check it, we own the music industry, we own the most of the entertainment industry is owned by Nigeria. Music, we are there. When it comes to wealth, Nigeria owns the richest people in Africa. Nigeria owns the richest women in Africa. You will find a lot of them in Nigeria. Nigeria owns the youths in Nigeria are crazily rich. Individual youths on their own, they are rich. Though we have a very bad and terrible government, but our people, we just make some kind of imprint in all over the world wherever we go, and that is why we're more or less like a good tool to use to be able to use to be able to conquer all these other African nations. If I'm not mistaken, right?
You are not mistaken, my brother. You know, I didn't even know it was this. Like we have to talk. I mean, okay, because we have to round up soon. I know, but talk about that incest thing at that time because what I noticed was after that time, even when I'm in Nigeria here,
Mm.
everything is just grabbing. What you notice, even American artists, for some reason, all of them they just want to start featuring Nigerian artists. They are
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
there.
A lot of people will, now, if you check most especially these bloggers and all these people that are posting on Instagram today, not and the likes, they will be telling you like, oh, Nigeria to the world. Imagine someone like Drake. Is it Drake making collaboration with Thames? Like, how they know themselves?
Thames just won Grammy. So you know she just won Grammy.
And something that is not
She
even
just won
supposed to be
Grammy.
possible. Oh, well, it's crazy, man.
Thanks
It's only
to
those that have. It's
just
only those that have eyes to see. I believe strongly. It's only those that have eyes to see that will be able to understand what is actually going on in this industry. So, with God, I believe the time is already rounding up. I'm going to ask you. So, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to be listening to this podcast. So, what is going to be your final thoughts and your conclusion? What is going to be your advice and the words you're going to give to the people that are going to listen to this? What is going to be an impactful what you're going to tell them so that they can prepare themselves, and so that when they see things that is going on, they can look with their foresight and not with their own fleshy eye?
my advice to people, man. I think this, when people have to start being aware, that would be my first advice. It to be whenever people, I never ever write off anything someone says. I will question them. I'll ask them question if it makes sense, if it doesn't or this like that. Don't think that everything we said on this podcast episode so far is nonsense. Just look at it for yourself. Give us the benefit. Just give us the we are mumu, but give us the benefit of the doubt. We don't know what we are talking about, though, but just give us the benefit of the doubt. Ask yourself, why is this world the way it is? What is the answer to this life? What is the purpose? Like what is this all this about? Ask yourself these questions. Did you just come to life to just go to concert and just jump up, drink alcohol, you will go to work every day and you die? Do you really think that's what life is about? Why is there wars around you? Why is Nigeria like this? Why is America like that? Why is UK like that? What is going on? Ask yourself these questions, do some research, and start to come to a conclusion and know how you prepare yourself for these last days. Because even a blind man can see that we are in the last days. A blind man can see that we are in the last days. It has never been this bad.
True.
Never been this bad. It's very, very obvious. And you can see that they are ratcheting it up. They're ratcheting it up. Working, like you said, my brother, doing it quickly, 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 quickly.
True.
Before they are very high. Because time is running out. So your solution lies in your hands. What? Watch and pray. Pay attention to what is going on around you.
True.
That would be my advice to people for now.
All right. Thank you, my brother. So it's good to have you. It's good. It's been nice. It's been awesome having you on the show, and I believe I will be inviting you soon because we have a lot to talk about. Believe me, most
You
especially
know,
when it comes to that NSAS, when it comes to the Babylonian school system, when it comes to the understanding how the because this podcast actually is meant for those that are calling themselves those that are identifying with Christ, but not just only because they identify
exactly.
with Christ, but they need to understand what it means to be spiritual. That is why I believe we can use this platform. I'm trying to use this platform to awaken people, not to some new age nonsense or not to some theological nonsense, but to the reality of what is going on, so that they can understand that
Exactly.
there is a war that is going on between light and darkness. So you have to choose side. If you don't choose side, your side is automatically given to you. And so that is just it. So it's good having you here, and it's been a blessing. It's been an educational trend. I've really enjoyed the show with you, and I do hope to have you on the show next time. Hope you're going to accept our invite. Probably maybe next week. I'm telling you, because I want to be putting out podcasts every week now, and I want to take it very seriously right now. Hope you're going to be chance
Yeah,
when I
my
invite
brother.
you again.
Yes, yes. I'll be chanced on a Monday like this.
All right.
Every Monday I'll be chanced.
Or
And if I'm not, of course, I will let you know. So thank you for having me. I think this is a blessing too, because keeping this information to myself, if we go on Clubhouse or somewhere, we try to talk about this, and then they may kick you out. In a
yeah,
random room. They'll kick
yeah.
you out.
Not so
People
many
don't want to
not
hear
so many
it.
people understand this, and only even the few people that
Right.
understands it. There are some that wants to learn, but they don't know where to find information from, and there are some that
Exactly.
Those they know the truth, but they don't want the truth to go out. There are some that the truth is hurting them, so they choose not to hear it anyway. But we're still going to talk about the truth anyway. So I'm really glad, and you don't know how hyped I was to talk about this. I was telling all my friends that look, I have a friend that is coming on the show, and I can't mess this up for anything. I had to tell my brother to go and get fuel, so I was not going to use the NEPA light because I don't trust it. Lights could just go at any time, and I'm going to lose all the recordings. So
No, exactly.
so with that being said, it's good having you. I believe we're going to be talking soon. All right.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
my brother.
Thank you very
Thank you, my
much.
brother.
Have a
So,
blessed day.
yeah, you too, my brother.